While we are patiently awaiting any movement from the Top Thrill Dragster site, Intamin just released a brand new, intriguing concept for their launch coasters, which has most of us thinking, could this technology be used for the reimagined Dragster? I'm also going to share with you 3 things, not including the launch, that I predict that we will see when Cedar Point reopens their Strata coaster. Then, near the end of the video, I'll share with you a very bold prediction on how this move affects future coasters at other Cedar Fair parks. Welcome to Theme Park Predictions and More. My name is Brandon, and I have a lot to cover, so let's get into this. One thing that I find odd is how Cedar Point has yet to remove the footers that held the launch and brake run track for the original Dragster. So does this mean that we should only expect a new launch and nothing else changed with the layout? Not necessarily, and here is why I think this. Cedar Point is in a very good and unique situation with this project. They have an opportunity to convert Dragster into one of the best roller coasters in the entire world if they wanted to. Realistically, Cedar Point could extend the layout pretty much any way imaginable, again, if they wanted to. And even though currently the supports are still in place, I think that we will see the ones on the launch side get removed eventually. I have reason to think that why we saw the track get removed so quickly is because those sections will be the only part that will be getting remodeled track. I predict that the track that is currently still in place will stay. Cedar Point needed to get those specific track pieces over to Intamin as fast as they could for them to begin working on converting them. And at this point, I think it's safe to assume that we will see the former launch track just converted to offer the new LSM launch. Now, I definitely could be wrong on that, and we could see new track built for this entirely, but as of right now, knowing what we know, I think this fits, especially if Cedar Point is shooting for a 2024 opening for this project. And at first, I will admit that I thought Dragster could reopen sometime in 2023 if there were minor changes. But as we learn more about this project, I definitely think it's going to reopen in 2024, mainly because the focus for Cedar Point in 2023 is going to be the new boardwalk area, and I can see the park not wanting that awesome area overshadowed by this massive project. Now, come winter chill out, Tony Clark is going to be faced with a ton of questions because I predict that Cedar Point will not announce this project until summer of 2023. In my most recent Cedar Point video, I shared my ideas about a massive expansion that would be twice the size of Gemini, a ton of room. I also talk about the rumors going around about Corkscrew being retired soon, so don't miss that video. But I really do think that Corkscrew is on its last legs, so you heard it here first. Get your rides in while you still can, because this Aero Looper only has a few seasons left. With knowing that the track is being shipped over to Europe to the Intamin fabrication plant, things are starting to align nicely. Now that the urgency is gone from getting those particular track pieces shipped out, there isn't a whole lot Cedar Point can do at the moment, but it's still fun to speculate about the future of this attraction. So here are 3 things that I predict we will see on the new Dragster when it does in fact reopen. Number 1. The swing launch. I do think the current station setup will stay, and the supports that have not been removed yet will be removed at a later date. Once the train exits the current station, it will move on to a switch track that will then move the train to the new swing launch, as you can see here. Once the train is set in this block zone, the new experience will begin. Riders will be launched forward, and I'm guessing that the trains would reach around this height for the first launch. While everyone enjoys a rollback on this new experience, the train will then hit the launch and reach an even higher speed as it's traveling backwards. And with having a swing launch means that there will be a vertical spike of some kind. And this is the second new thing that I predict we will see on the new Dragster. A little birdie told me to keep your eye out on this building here, which was the old on-ride photo booth for Dragster, because it is set to be demolished. This will be where the base of the support tower will be located for the massive vertical spike. So yes, I hope this answers anyone's questions about whether there is room or not for a vertical spike. While I do not know specifics about the height of the vertical spike, I could imagine it being anywhere from 375 feet to 460 feet tall. Now personally, I would really love to see a vertical spike that features a spiral, because that would look insane and pay amazing homage to Wicked Twister. But we could also be looking at a vertical spike without the spiral. Once the train exits the vertical spike, it will then reach the maximum speed of the coaster. And as the train launches up to 420 foot tall top hat, I do think there's a very good chance that we could see Intamin's new vertical LSMs added. And if they were added, since this will be a swing launch, I'm thinking the area highlighted here could see some LSMs added. While this will not give you the full effect of the vertical LSMs, you will still be able to feel them as you get boosted over the top hat. If Cedar Point added a vertical launch in this location, then I do think the train will travel over the top hat at a higher velocity than it ever did before. The main benefits of this will be the new coaster will not have to go down as much due to high winds like it did before, and as riders, we could actually get some airtime going over the top hat. Now, the one thing that I wonder about the vertical launch would be how would they apply the LSMs without removing the track? I am no engineer here, so we will see on that, but it is very intriguing. And real quick, I've heard a lot of people say that this new technology could have been designed for Dragster, and sadly it wasn't. That's because Intamin opened Storm Coaster in Dubai in February of 2022. However, that coaster featuring Intamin's new vertical launch could be what led to the idea for this new Dragster concept. I grouped a few things together for the third thing that I think we'll see new when Dragster reopens, and they would be new trains, a new theme, and a new color scheme. And I think all those are pretty much givens at this point, but I wanted to know what colors you would like to see the new Dragster be, so be sure to let me know in the comments. Now, before I get to my bold prediction, if you're planning a trip to Cedar Point and are wondering where are the best places to stay, then you need to check out my Cedar Point tips and best places to stay video, where I share with you 10 of the best hotels and resorts in the Sandusky area for all budgets. And you can find the link to that in the description of this video, and I will also have the link to my must-watch Cedar Point Insider's Guide video as well. So now that it's all but confirmed that Intamin and Cedar Fair are working together on this project, what does it mean for their relationship going forward? I've been saying it pretty much from the moment I started this channel that Intamin and Cedar Fair would work together again soon. And with how successful Velocicoaster, Taiga, and Pantheon all have been as far as guest satisfaction and most importantly, reliability, I think it's safe to say that Cedar Fair has been keeping a very close eye on Intamin's progress over the years. With that said, if the new Dragster turns out to be a success and is more reliable than the original, and I predict it will, then I think we will see a few new Intamins be built at other Cedar Fair parks. And for my very bold prediction, I predict that we will see Cedar Fair add more Intamin coasters to their parks than any other manufacturer over the next 10 years. Now, if you want me to create a video predicting which parks and what type of Intamin coaster and where in the park it could be located, then please give this video a like. Not only does Intamin make some amazing roller coasters, parks really cannot beat the price tag on most of their models. As Intamin is my favorite manufacturer, I am very excited to see what they have planned in the future. So what are your updated thoughts on Top Thrill Dragster? What changes do you think will be added to the ride? Be sure to let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and keep riding coasters.